we're doing some Pokemon runs. G turns to me in Discord, turns to me, yes, our cameras weren't on, but he turned to me, and he said, we're gonna start streaming our runs. And I went, hell fucking yeah, we're gonna do it.
Go straight out the gates with the questions, sir.
Ooh.
So yeah, do you want to intro yourself for anyone who doesn't know you already?
All right, I am ThSagex, the Sage, otherwise known as Nate. I am a new and upcoming Twitch streamer. I usually stream Pokemon challenge runs right now with my best friend, otherwise known as Professor Hawthorne, and it's a lot of fun. We stream 3 days a week, and it's a lot of cool, challenging stuff. Frustrating, funny, and fun.
Cool.
That's
Yeah, I
great.
wondered who the Professor Hawthorne dude was. I was like, he seems really cool. So that's that's fun. Awesome. So how did you get into gaming? And did you start how did you start streaming on Twitch, and where did I guess everything derive from?
I mean, I've been playing games since I was like 5 years old. I mean, it's been a long time. It was like a PS2 gifted at Christmas, I think.
Okay.
Of not 2002. It would have been 2004, I think. So actually, when I was 6. But I've been playing games for a long time, and Professor Hawthorne, who is my best friend, otherwise known as Giuliano, we started doing Pokemon challenge runs maybe 2 or 3 years ago, just off of this random idea because he was watching YouTubers. They were doing it. And so he was like, we could try these. We have computers. We can do this. We can randomize our games and have some fun with this. So we should do that. And way back, we had the idea of streaming it on Twitch, but we didn't really do it for a while. And then this January, he was like, we should do it. Like, we really should actually just do it. We should stream the games. There's nothing stopping us. I had built his PC for him 2 years before, so he had now had a much better PC to run with than I think he was running on some Apple laptop that was 5 or 6 years
Gaming
old.
on Apple.
Yeah, it was a pain for me.
No, you're gonna laugh at me. Like I used to play Fortnite on a Mac.
Really?
Drag. Yeah, honestly, everyone was trying to bandwagon on that game. And I was like, I'll try it out. And I have a Mac just because it's good for video editing. I prefer it, honestly, for the things that I do. And anyways, and yeah, I used to game on, it was a nightmare, obviously.
Yeah, he's a bit more of a creative person. He really does a lot of writing. So for him, the Mac was kind of just a bit better for him. He needed more of a traditional laptop at the time. So when he wanted a gaming PC, I built him one. January came. We talked about streaming, and we said, well, let's do it. We're now or never. And, just bit the bullet, and here we are 3 months later. But that's how math works.
That's cool. No, I love that, though. And that's impressive that you built an entire, PC, to be honest.
Honestly, yeah.
I have no clue.
It's one of my favorite, I would call it a hobby, but it's not something I get to do very often. I have 2 PCs here. You can't see them, but one's behind this one of them's over there. I built the second PC on stream, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago on a Sunday, because I wanted to do a 2 PC setup, which is fairly complicated. I didn't know it was as complicated as it was. It's been a pain, but worth it so far. So I think his PC was the 3rd PC I built. I built one for me way back when. Then I built a better one, which is my current computer, his PC, now my second PC, like the other one I have now. So it's something I really enjoy.
That's cool. But yeah, speaking of
very cool.
For sure. Yeah, do you want to go with the next one, Bella?
Yeah. Speaking of hobbies, as she said, do you feel like streaming will become just a hobby, or will you turn it into a career?
I would love to turn it into a career. First and foremost, sustainability is really important for that. So, setting up the follower base, making the milestones on Twitch. So right now, the first one is affiliate, where you can first have subscribers and then you can have bits and other stuff. You can always have donations. I've had a few donations already, which I'm astounded by. It was really surprising. But just making affiliate, making those milestones to get the followers, the subscribers eventually to have it kind of be profitable would be really great. Like I'd love to do this full time. I would love to just have this be my main source of income to live off of. But right now that's not exactly the most possible thing. So it's something that takes a lot of time. So I definitely see this more as a career than a hobby, at least hopefully down the line.
For sure.
We definitely understand that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, we definitely understand that, you know, as like we both want to, you know, get this into a career at some point.
Sure, no,
and
it's
build
like
it.
anything, even as a performing artist, like you need to like set your fan base. It's like it takes years. We had Noah on the show as well. Like, I mean, we've had tons of awesome people on the show, and even he's been on YouTube for like 10 years. And he's like, yeah, I'm a senior, but I'm still like, you know, my career hasn't taken off, but I still love it. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like you do you for sure. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, like look at, I don't know if you know, like just because I know kind of, I don't really listen to the radio, but anyways, so Billie Eilish's brother Phineas, he was like a performer and like musician for years. No one knew who he was. He was even on his girlfriend's YouTube channel performing, and then Billie Eilish's career took off, and then everyone knew who he was after. So it's like sometimes connections, you know what I mean? But definitely. But that's super awesome to hear. Like I was actually on your stream the other night. I don't know if you knew it was me. So my user is Chrissy. I was like creeping. So it's Chrissy Z. And you're like, oh, who's this? I don't know. I don't remember. But you're funny, dude. Like you're really jokes. I was like,
thank you.
I think I was like watching you guys for like, I don't know, half an hour or so, and then I went to bed. But yeah, dude, like you have so much charisma, and you give me like a kind of like an Eric Andre meets like yeah, you give me like that vibe, but like if he was a gamer, and also like you know John Mulaney, it's like if they two like met to like one person and we're a gamer.
I would call myself an uncultured swine. I know the name John Mulaney, but I can't put a face to it.
He's just a stand-up comedian / writer. Like, do you know Big Mouth? He's one of the head writers / voice actors.
Yeah, I've seen Big Mouth. Yeah.
So him and Nick Grohl kind of made that show. So yeah, next question, want to know, what are your top 3 favorite games of all time? I know it's a hard one.
Top 3 favorite games of all time. I don't know about top 3 of favorite games, but I have a favorite series.
Okay.
That would be what is known as the Soulsborne series or franchise, which are a series of games made by the company From Software. So in order, not in any particular order from my favorites, but in the order the games are released in, there's Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3. So, you know, you can see where it comes in. Soulsborne.
Right.
I love all the games so much. I was really happy when I discovered them back when I was playing on Xbox 360. Like that was life-changing because it was this entry into these more hardcore games where they're difficult, not even for the sake of being difficult, but just because it mirrors the experience and the gameplay and the story that's being told, even though the story is told kind of vaguely. But if I had to say in terms of actual games specifically, Bloodborne out of all 5 of them is my favorite. It is one of my favorite games of all time. Very easily marked by actually I don't know if I could show these very easily like this. The tattoos that are on my arm. God, I hate doing this, but like, you know what? Screw it. This is easier.
No, it's fine.
I'm just gonna do this.
No,
the
go
tattoos
ahead.
that are
I
on
love
my arm
that.
here.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
really
these are 3 of the many Carol runes that are in the game, and my criteria for tattoos is very kind of loose. I only have a few, but I have it very simply set that if I love something enough, I will imprint it on my skin with a tattoo. So I have these to symbolize for that game. If I had to give 2 other favorite games, I would probably say Elder Scrolls Skyrim. The cult classic. I mean, I've sunk so many hours into that game back on 360. Not so much on PC, but way back when I could just dig into a game for hours and hours and hours on end without a care in the world. You know, things you could do as a teenager without anything else to do.
Yeah, definitely.
But speaking of
No,
Yeah,
go ahead.
sorry.
No, go.
I was just gonna say those are really sick hats. Where did you get them? Like in Montreal? You got them done?
Yeah. They were done at Wizards Tattoos by the CJEP I went to, Vanya.
Oh yeah, I know Wizards. I went with a friend. This was years ago. She got her stuff done, and it was like really fairly priced. And I was like, yeah, like maybe I'll
Yeah.
get done here one time.
That was how I met them. I mean, it was I think it was 2 weeks ago. You had Tam Tamara on the show, right? I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't because last week's was the Noah one, and then it was Tam.
Yeah.
She was the one who showed me like the shop, who showed me Wizards.
Oh.
So
cool.
it was ended up honestly being because of her that I ended up getting tattoos in the first place. I wanted them, but it was more like, here's a push, here's a place, get them done.
Yeah, for sure. I love that though. Yeah, we loved having her on. It was awesome. We could have made like a 2-hour episode, but we do have a time frame that we'd like to stick to.
Totally.
But we could talk about like everything. It was a great
Yeah, it was a great.
But yeah, Wizards is sick.
chat.
Definitely like hopefully I like to kind of go like I have my main artist, but like, it never hurts to like try different places, but that's sweet. We're gonna get back to the questions if that's cool.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I never answered for a third favorite game, but I don't even know if I could think of one.
But you gave a series, I feel like. So that's like
more than one.
Yeah. I could talk about that series for hours. So let's go. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so talking about games, do you have anyone who like inspires you? Like a creator, maybe?
I don't know about that. That's not something I've ever really thought of. I mean, I've had some streamers that I've watched, some content creators that I really like their content, even though some of the ones that I really like aren't necessarily gaming stuff. I could relate back again, because this relates it back again to the Soulsborne, to the Dark Souls stuff, because one of them does lore videos. He does stuff talking about the story and stuff, because like I said, the stories in the games are very vague. They're very loose. They're somewhat up for interpretation. So you have people who will dissect all these bits of information to try to put stuff together and have a story. I really like his content, but that's not exactly gaming. So if we talked streamers, there's one streamer, Lobos Jr., who I really like. He does Dark Souls content again, but he's really charismatic. He's really funny. I love him and all of his. He does challenge runs and stuff of Dark Souls, like millions of different kinds. Well, not millions, but so many of them. And it's amazing to watch the amount of stuff he can do and just play games and just have fun, like doing that and making a living off of it. Crazy. Never would have thought. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like, I feel like, back in the day, like, in high school, it's like if you were like playing computer games or like whatever, you're just like quote unquote like a nerd, or like you're not gonna like make anything of yourself like playing like video games. And now it's like
you can literally have that
literally do that for a living.
Yes,
like even my stepbrother, he used to like, he almost kind of went and tried to become like a professional gamer with like Call of Duty, and he's like, if I just stuck to it, I could have like maybe like made millions. All the hours he put into it, and I was like, yeah, like it's like I remember one of my teachers in high school said like in 20 years there's going to be jobs that don't even exist now.
Yeah,
and it's so true. But yeah, okay, so you didn't really watch like that many gamers and streamers. Was it more like YouTube bloggers? Or
I used to watch a lot of YouTube gameplays back in the day. It's just it's somewhat hard for me to explain see if there's someone who really inspired me, who I looked at and said, I want to be that. That was never really a case of that. It was always, for me, it was always just a case of, I just want to be happy. I just want to do what I want to do. I want to do what I love. And for me, that was playing games. So the fact that it's been years and years of playing games, like I've had the ability, I've had the PC, I've had the technology to start streaming for 2 to 3 years. I tried doing it a little bit back then sparingly, but it was never serious because I was always super nervous. Like I don't get stage fright, but I was always really nervous about the ins and outs, the little ifs, the little tiny bits of streaming that now I have just a complete handle over, that it's like none of this stuff matters anymore. Like my biggest thing with streaming right now that poses even somewhat of an issue to me is networking. It's the socializing with other streamers. It's the being active in communities and stuff, because my work life right now between streaming and my job leaves very little time for me to be doing that outside of other stuff that I want to be doing. So just in regards to that, it's just right now, I got a handle on the stuff that I want to do. I tried doing it for a while, but didn't really, I never stuck to it. But now I'm sticking to it and I'm really loving it.
That's great. No, you can tell like you're consistent, you have your streaming nights and everything. And like there, I don't know, even on like your Twitch, there seemed to be like, you know, a group of people that were like chill and just like knew each other. And like you know, you gotta start somewhere for sure. But yeah, I feel like that's good that you don't have stage fright. I actually have extreme stage fright, which is so funny because people are like, oh, you're so like flamboyantly like hilarious and like over the top. And I'm like, that's how I react to people. So I don't seem nervous, but it's literally like, and I mean, I think we had this kind of like a little conversation. You're like, I had a weird first impression of you.
Oh yeah. To go back to that conversation, that was 6 weeks ago, I think.
Maybe a little bit more, but like either way, like I understood where you're coming from. That's a lot of people that are like, yeah, like you're like too chaotic for me. And I'm just like, I don't know how to react on stage or in a group of people. I just act like an idiot. That's how, and then people are like, oh, you're so good in social situations. I'm like, I have no idea how you think that.
Yeah. I get that, but on like the opposite end of the spectrum, where I'm just like, people are like, what is he thinking? What is he doing? He's not reacting. He's not doing anything. He's kind of just there.
For sure.
Like, nowadays, that'll probably be different.
And I'm kind of like in between.
Yeah.
A mix of both of you.
For sure.
Hey.
So I wanted to ask, how did your gamer tag come to be? The Sage, like X.
Sage. Oh, that's I was gonna say a long story, but not really. The Sage was just a title I settled upon after a lot of, I guess, deliberation between a bunch of old nicknames. Like I could run you through my usernames since I was a kid. There aren't that many, but first it started out as Nickanom, which is like Nick, Nickanom, and that was just childhood me looking at the word nickname when they had to make a username for a page and just rearranging the letters in nickname to somehow get Nickanom.
Okay.
And then I was like, got into edgy teenager phase, was like, I don't need that name anymore. All right, let's go with something else. And I think for a short period, it was Sagacious Soul, which didn't last very long, but I kind of liked the vibe I was getting with it. It was like
edgy teenager, more like, you know, 50-year-old, like with like his rocking chair and a
Sagacious Soul. Yeah.
I don't.
I like it. It was a long word that I didn't know.
But like, it's very like, I don't know. I wouldn't consider, like most teenagers would be like, you know, like more basic. I feel like.
Yeah, I think I added an X to it. The X made it edgy. You know, every username had to have an X in it somewhere.
Yeah.
Then this Sagacious Soul got shortened to either Nate the Sage or the Black Sage. And then for Twitch, I just settled on the Sage. Always with the TH, never the E, because it has to be different. It can't be it has to be TH.
Yeah.
Amusingly, the name just TH Sage was actually taken on Twitch. That's why there's an X in my name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was always something to relate with wisdom. That was kind of just the whole thing, because apparently people think I'm wise and I give good advice. Apparently I
do. But okay, I understand how it kind of like morphed into that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I feel like I made my Twitch, which is, it's odd. I had Twitch before. I feel like it was like, not to be one of those, but I literally joined Twitch not to stream, but to like watch people. Because I was like, what is this weird thing? You can like watch people play video games.
Yeah.
And what's that game? It's like the weird, he's like a mini dragon. I forget the name.
Spyro? I'm a Spyro's mini dragon.
That's the one.
Yeah. Little purple dragon.
Pardon?
Little purple dragon. It's like a PS2 PlayStation game. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I was like, I made it the most mainstream. It was just like it was my like Chrissy Z was just my MSN back in the day. So
Oh my
that's how
god,
but I was
MSN.
like, oh whatever. Um
Oh no.
yeah, well I guess it was MySpace before slash like anyways. But you know, throwback. Um
There's something I
Right.
never had. I never had a
pardon?
MySpace.
You never had, yeah, it was kind of just like you just have a bunch of random stuff with like your favorite song playing in the background. So basically
Uh,
like I don't know, I had like mine with like sparkles. It was basically like the less cool version of Club Penguin. I don't know.
oh,
Okay.
Club Penguin.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. That was that and like Farmville. I was on that like every day
Oh,
taking care of my like
Yeah,
crops.
classic Facebook.
Yeah.
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 Um cool. Yeah. So we're gonna hit you with the next question.
Yes. When you're choosing games to play, like what games do you usually are you drawn to?
Uh, when you say that, you mean that in terms of just me like playing games personally or on stream?
Both.
Both. Okay. For stream, right now we're sticking to Pokemon Challenge. That's kind of just the deal to kind of it's one of the steps or things that's ideal in at least building a community is to have a niche. It's to have this specific area that you do so that people can follow you because that's how you get things to be consistent. Is just you do this one thing and you do it well. Maybe you do it funny. Maybe you do it stupidly. You do it in a way that people will like this one thing that you do. And then maybe later on you can do variety and hope people will follow you. Maybe. Um, Personally,
Yeah.
in terms of games in general, RPGs, role playing games are my favorite, especially ones with lots of customization in terms of abilities, moves, armor, equipment, anything like that, which is one of the reasons why games like the Soulsborne series appeal to me. They're gritty action RPGs where you can customize all those things. There's a lot of other games like that that really appeal to me, like uh, up and coming, or not even up and coming, like big hit mobile game right now, Genshin Impact, which I've been playing since release, which is a lot of fun. Not entirely the same vein, but still really fun. Is it's just RPG. You got your party of characters. You get them. You go out. You kill things. You do the fun. You collect the materials. So typically, it's just I really like a lot of customization. I like the ability to have all these different things that I can choose between and have what we call, at least as gamers, builds that you can make. So you're going to build a character a certain way, just like this or like that. And you can say play the same game like 30 times over, do 30 different builds, have 30 different experiences. So that's
sure.
essentially what I'm looking for in a game. That's what had Skyrim had back in the day, where I could play that game for so long because I could play through it 30 million different ways. It was a great
Sure.
time.
Just
So
a game that kind of got a lot of clout like the last, I would say, year and everything. The Witcher. Are you from like have you
Yeah.
played it?
The Witcher 3, oh, Wild Hunt. That's a game I've tried to get into a number of times.
Okay.
An issue with me, though, for not even for it, because it's a great game. One of Wars is one of the most popular games and is insanely good. Like Geralt of Rivia, that entire storytelling, the way the gameplay works, everything about that game is fantastic. Like CD Projekt Red, the developers did a great job on that game. No, let's not talk about Cyberpunk. They did terribly on that. But
Oh, okay.
in
Were you not
terms,
a fan?
Cyberpunk was a bit of a flop. I never played it, but
Okay.
everything that you read online was like, this game is unfinished. Like it was kind of crazy. But so The Witcher specifically was like a masterpiece. I tried playing it a number of times. The slow pacing of it kind of caught me off guard, and I was never really into it. And the way you have to do combat, at least, is that you study the creatures, the things you're going to fight, and you prepare very specifically for them with elixirs and stuff that the Witcher will use specifically for those encounters. So everything is just it's almost like a really specific, not campaign, but exploration where you're going to this area to do this one thing with this one item that you're going to use because it makes you more efficient against the one enemy you're going to be killing in this scenario. So it's a lot of just, I'm doing this scenario, I need this, I'm going to use this to kill that, rinse, repeat at different areas. But the main point of the game is the story. It's you're trying to find Siri, who I don't remember all the details about the character about, which it's really cool because it's this whole overarching thing of the Wild Hunt, which is this mysterious force that's just coming after you. But me, I have a hard time getting involved in stories and games nowadays. So the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt didn't really stick with me very much.
That's fair. I feel you though. Like people got mad at me because I'm like Red Dead Redemption was too slow for me. Like I remember playing, what was it, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 summers ago when like I couldn't even, like, I was falling asleep.
Is that's the most recent Red Dead Redemption? I
Yeah.
forget, is it Red Dead Redemption 2, I think.
Was it 3?
Is it 2 or 3? I actually don't know.
I think
Ironically, never
I think
played
it
it.
was 3, but anyways, I was literally falling asleep. I was like, I literally like it was just so slow. So I feel you. Like
Yeah.
um
I just like I kind of prefer the fast pace a bit, but I just find it hard for me to get into story in games right now or just nowadays. Like I kind of just I want gameplay. I want things to be cool. I want, like I said, I want the powers, I want the customization, I want that stuff. Genshin Impact recently has had their most recent story quest they released, because the game is through development as it's going on. Like they're adding new content and stuff every like month. So they released a new story quest to continue on the overarching story,
yeah.
and I actually watched it and paid attention. Like I did it. I did the quest. I paid attention to it and was like, okay, game, you now have me interested because you just added this whole bunch of stuff that
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, here's an overarching backstory, plot line of stuff that you didn't mention before that makes everything have so much more depth to it, instead of just, we're traveling through this new world. You and your sister gets captured by an unknown god or sent away or whatever. You're trying to reunite yourself. That's the main overarching story. And then they added all these other sub details that I'm just like, tell me more about that. I want to know about that. That's interesting. Like,
I feel like it's like, for me personally, I agree with you. The more details the better. But also sometimes, like, the way games like can kind of shift, it's like it loses its like original like value. Um but yeah, getting on to the next question. So not only are you a very you know, I would say just like uniquely funny gamer, you're really a talented writer as well.
I'm a uniquely funny gamer.
Yeah.
I
I know you personally.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
But I tend to lend more credit to the funny side of that to my partner in crime, Professor Hawthorne, because I'm a technical person. I'm a technical guy. I like the aspects. I like the technical. I like setting up things. I like the technology. I like the ins and outs of how things work in more case than I am about the funny.
I
I
think
say the
you
funny is
both, I
more,
think
yeah.
it's a team effort.
Yeah.
I think you have a lot of like, you're humble, which is good. Don't
Definitely.
Thank you.
don't lose that, because that's a lot of times, a lot of gamers are like, oh, like they just don't have that. So yeah, but you also are, I don't know, like I would say your writing's like poetry, but everyone's different. Not everyone thinks of it as poetry.
Yeah,
But
I write words.
yeah, but like,
No.
how did you get into that? I guess I was curious about that too.
Okay. That's an entire different aspect of me and careers that I like and things,
Yeah.
passions that I have. Because if there are two great passions in my life, it's games and it's music. That's it. That's all. That is the end of the story. Nah. Let's continue the story. I've loved music since a young age. I've always wanted to make music. So writing to me was just something that I needed to do. It was something that I wanted to do, but I was always kind of nervous about the other aspects of it, being the producing, writing stuff either to a beat or with a beat at the same time, which I've struggled with. That's been a challenge for me whenever I tried to do it. But writing on my own with your own flow in your head just works. Like, it's fun to write these words that just work so well together in my own head. But then if you try to put it onto something else, it's like, that doesn't work so well. So you got to mix and match it. But like, writing something I just really enjoy. It's fun to make raps. It's fun to write poetry. It's fun to write rhymes.
For sure. And you
It's
have such a, I would say, a very good taste in music. You showed me a lot of.
Thank you.
I mean, I remember you showed me Black Bear like years ago, and now he's like very mainstream.
Yes. Black Bear. The
Yeah.
what was I gonna say? The quintessential, was I gonna say breakup music? I don't know.
Yeah,
He does a
very
lot of
much.
that. I mean, his
Uh,
most recent album, yeah.
yeah, I liked it a lot. To be honest. And so also I wanted to ask you because there's been a huge like resurfacing of Pokemon Go.
Oh my
Oh
god, is
God.
there?
Oh
So
no.
I wanted to ask you, did you hop on that train or
Nope. Can't say I have.
did you play it when it
I
first came out?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
That
Like
was
avidly?
the time. I tried to, but at
Okay.
that time, really early on, it was with the locations were really thick and thin between with like landmarks and stuff with the way the game was designed.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it was fun, but it was something I never got too into.
Okay. That's fair.
Do
Yeah,
you
honestly.
think? Sorry,
No,
I didn't
it's
mean to
fine.
interrupt. But do you
Yeah.
think you would get back into it if it's like re-surfing,
Mm,
whatever the word is?
Honestly, I don't think so. I just not even in terms of like I don't have interest in this, but I don't not that not I don't have the time, but because it's a game that typically recommends you going around to go do things,
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend the time to go do that. In all honesty,
That's
I'm just
fair.
not going to. Like,
No, it's honestly pretty like radical. Like I feel like there were like um literally military bases that were like they had a whole like thing. They're like you can't come.
oh
They put
no.
signs and it was like you can't
Yeah.
come on here because like
Yep.
Pokemon Go was like yeah go here here and here.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Military bases?
let's go over to the cemetery and catch some ghost types. I'm not even
No,
kidding.
I remember it's I remember working near I was working like not too far from Toronto when it kind of popped off. This was like what summer 2016 maybe. And my brother was just like, "Oh, I'm going here like downtown Toronto just catching a bunch of Pokemon." I'm like, "Aren't there better things to do?" No offense. Like I played a little bit, but honestly, it's whatever. Like it's an activities and with COVID like, people are looking for stuff to do, so it makes sense. But
Definitely.
I was curious because you're like, Pokemon challenges and all that, and I don't know. We
No.
had like,
The
but,
Pokemon challenge runs are kind of a separate thing because I mean the way you run them and the way you play them is very different. I mean, it's the experience of going through these games. We use randomizers, so our stuff isn't what you would normally encounter in a game. Like, you're gonna play one of the Gen 4 games. You're gonna play Pokemon Platinum. First route, you're probably gonna see a Starly. Nah, first route for us. Let's go find the legendary from that game right in the starter town right there. It's just here. Like, it could happen. That's part of where I get the fun of it from, is that it's something new every time. Nothing is ever the same. And that's really what I enjoy about it. It's just seeing all these weird mixes and cool things that can happen more than actually playing through specifically the game itself. So also referencing how I'm a technical guy, I like that because it's technical. That works.
for sure, cool. But yeah, we're almost at our time limit, so Bella's
A
gonna
little bit.
Bella's gonna end it, end it with the last.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We were just curious. Like, do you have any future plans moving forward?
Any goals?
Yeah.
Or the
I
writing?
mean,
or
mainstream goal, well, stream goal, make affiliate. It takes time. I need average of 3 viewers over the course of 1 month. The word average makes that really hard, but it's just a time consuming thing. So it'll happen over time, assuming people come and like watching me play games with my brand. It's a good time. It's fun.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I like doing the challenge runs. That's the niche right now. I would love to stream on other off days, other games that I like to play, like some of the Dark Souls games. I did one offshoot stream like last week before. I really enjoyed it. Didn't get as much views or popularity, so like not sure how that'll work out long run. But I'd love to do different stuff. Like I built a second PC just to do that. But that's a main goal in that end. Otherwise, in terms of music and writing, I'm not working on a lot of stuff right now. Like I haven't added anything to some of my notes for like a week or two since I've been really into streaming stuff because it takes up a lot more of my time outside of just my day job. But I would love to be able to actually just produce at least a single song. Like, that would be so amazing. It's just that right now, with how my time is, it just doesn't seem super likely. I mean, it could happen, but
Hey, never say
Never say never.
And,
I was literally
Hey.
about to say that.
jinx.
yeah, someone's working on their EP in a bit, so maybe I can we can do something
Hey.
together.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
not to plug myself, but I mean,
Hey, that's
Like
you can consider
June.
this you can consider this entire interview a plug for me. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. We have like very, I would say, like honest styles of writing, and you have great taste. And I don't know. It would be sick to kind of like see where
I could see you guys collabing.
Hey.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. But dude, yeah, thank you so much for taking time out of your Friday night and
coming on the
nice night.
Oh, thank you for having me. I mean, it's been really fun.
No worries. Take care. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.